Your smartwatch is doing something that honestly sounds fake at first. It's shining light into your skin and turning the reflection into health data. Not guessing, not vibes. It's actually measuring signals from your body. So how does a tiny gadget on your wrist somehow see your heart rate? And in some cases, even estimate things like oxygen levels using nothing but light. Welcome to the smart side, where we learn new stuff every day. And here's the promise. By the end of this, you'll get what your watch is looking for. Why it sometimes freaks out and gives weird numbers, and how it turns a faint flicker of light into something that feels surprisingly reliable. Because your wrist doesn't look transparent, it looks like skin. But skin isn't a brick wall. It's more like a layered, messy filter. Light can get in a little. It scatters, it bounces around, some of it gets absorbed, and some of it comes back out. And hidden inside that reflected light is the clue your watch is obsessed with: your blood. Here's why. Every time your heart beats, it sends a pressure wave through your arteries. That wave changes, just slightly. How much blood is sitting in tiny vessels near your skin? More for a moment, then less. Again and again. You can't see that happening, but a sensor can. So, the core idea is this. Your smartwatch isn't seeing your heart. It's seeing the shadow your heartbeat leaves in light. Think of it like this. Imagine a lamp in the next room. You can't see the lamp directly, but you can see the glow under the door. If that glow gets brighter and dimmer in a steady rhythm, you'd know something is changing, even without seeing the source. That's basically what your watch does. Except the rhythm is your pulse, and the glow is reflected light from your skin. Now, here's the part that makes engineers sweat. Your wrist is a terrible place to take clean measurements. Because real life is messy. You move, you sweat, the strap loosens, sunlight hits the sensor, you've got hair, different skin tones, tattoos, temperature changes. So the watch needs two things: a strong enough light signal and a smart enough brain to clean it up. That's why it uses its own LEDs. Most watches use green light. Some also use red and infrared. Why green? Because near the surface of your skin, green light tends to get absorbed by blood in a way that makes the pulse pattern pop, so the watch shines light in, and a sensor measures what comes back. And it doesn't do that once. It samples again and again and again, because it's looking for a repeating pattern over time. And this matters. Your watch usually doesn't care about the exact brightness. It cares about the change, the up and down wave that matches your heartbeat. Because your skin might reflect more or less light than someone else's. That part isn't the point. The point is the rhythm. So why does it sometimes get weird during workouts? You've probably seen it. You're running, you glance down, and the number suddenly makes no sense. That's because the pulse signal is small, and motion is loud. If the watch shifts even a little, the reflected light changes a lot, and the sensor can mistake movement for pulse. So the watch plays detective. It filters the signal, looks for pulse-shaped patterns, and uses its motion sensors, accelerometers and gyroscopes, to figure out when your wrist is bouncing around. When movement is heavy, it may smooth the data, lag a bit, or lower confidence without telling you. That's why readings are often best when you're still, and harder when you're sprinting or lifting. Now, oxygen. This part feels even more sci-fi. How can a watch estimate oxygen with light? Because of hemoglobin. That's the protein in your blood that carries oxygen. When hemoglobin is carrying oxygen, it absorbs light slightly differently than when it isn't. So if you shine two different wavelengths, usually red and infrared, and compare how much comes back, you can estimate the balance. But real talk. A watch is not a hospital monitor. It can be useful for trends and for catching obvious changes, but it's measuring through skin on your wrist. So fit and motion can really affect it. Which brings up a detail most people ignore. How you wear it matters a lot. Too loose, an outside light sneaks in, the sensor sees noise, and the readings get jumpy. too tight, and it can get uncomfortable, and in some cases mess with blood flow near the surface. So the sweet spot is snug enough not to slide, but not squeezing like a clamp. And yes, tattoos can mess with it. Ink changes how light is absorbed and scattered, so the watch might struggle to see a clean pattern. Skin tone can also change how light behaves. Most devices compensate using stronger LEDs, different wavelengths, and smarter processing. But some situations are still tougher than others. Okay, quick recap in plain language. Your watch shines light into your skin. Your blood flow changes slightly with each heartbeat. That changes how much light comes back. And the watch turns that tiny wave into a number. That's it. Not magic, just optics plus signal cleaning. And once you know that, your smartwatch feels less like a random gadget and more like a tiny optical lab strapped to your wrist. If you enjoyed this and learned something new, please hit like and subscribe. It genuinely means a lot to us, and it helps the smart side reach more curious people like you. And tell me in the comments, what should we explain next?